Hello, I'm Z, and well, I just wanted to tell you that today is my birthday, and also, since it's so close to Christmas, Merry Christmas. I'm probably not gonna make a special Christmas video. Actually, I'm not sure. I might just make one wishing everyone Merry Christmas. Either way, I hope you have a very jolly holiday spirit. I know I'm having it, and yeah, it's been a while. Last year I did a retrospective, and I'm gonna do so this year as well. So, you know, I don't really want to get too much of the intro of the video occupied, so let's just get into it. Devil May Cry is a series that I played this year and I really enjoyed. Starting with the first one, well, let's say it captivated me in a way that I wasn't expecting, but also it pissed me off in an incredible amount. Because the way this game controls, and all of the DMCs control, feels like it wasn't designed for human hands. For some reason. I don't know why they designed the controls like that. I honestly have no clue. I mean, a lot of people can play with them, but I feel like they're not very friendly, and for some situations they're really, really uncomfortable to use. DMC1, overall, very great game. I enjoyed a lot, very good points in the game that I would definitely replay, and there is very many points that I would not replay. But you know what I wouldn't replay? I wouldn't replay DMC2, which is what came next, and goddamn, this game I would honestly not replay. It's fun and not fun in a way where the gameplay itself I think is slightly more fun than DMC1, but also the story and weapons are by far inferior in many ways, which makes it, you know, not as interesting. It felt like it was an upgrade in terms of movement and combat, but a downgrade in terms of story and weapons, which I really hated. But either way, you know, it was alright, I guess. I wouldn't replay it. Neither would I replay the first one. Oh yeah, this game is definitely one of my favorites by now. Hotline Miami captured my heart in a really interesting way. I know I said that about DMC, but Hotline Miami did it mostly through OST, and I think that's pretty interesting considering most of it isn't even its own OST. It's technically other songs that it's got the license to. That was one of the issues when I was recording it, which was copyright. I definitely couldn't monetize any single one, even if I had the option to, because of how many copyrighted songs there are. But I really enjoyed the music. The gameplay was alright. There were a few issues that Miami 2 actually fixed, but we'll get to that later. Overall, Hotline Miami, it was short and really enjoyable. I loved it. Now, into something that I started doing mostly this year. Co-op videos, where I would play with someone else. In this case, it would be Al's Alpaca, one of my friends. He also has a channel, he streams sometimes, and we play games occasionally. And our first series that we played together was Project Zomboid. I can tell you, while recording it, I had a lot of fun, but also editing it, it was very low effort, because all of the weekend series, as I call them, of the co-op series, are pre-recorded in bulk, so I can then upload them so I have time to do other things in life. So they're really low effort, but if you can still find them enjoyable, then I'm glad, because I know I find a lot of unedited co-op videos enjoyable, even though they have their low points. But about the game itself, Project Zomboid was really, really fun. That's all I really have to say about it. There are some issues when it comes to difficulty, but I feel like that's fair, because it is supposed to be a survival game that is difficult. Overall, I really enjoyed it, but there are some mechanics I didn't get into that I wish I did. But that would have required me looking on the wiki, and that's kind of boring to look at the gameplay, which I know I wouldn't have edited out. Man, oh man, do I love this game, and does it have a nostalgic place in my heart too. Lego Batman 2 is a game I used to play when I was a little kid, and that I think I talked about that in the actual videos themselves. So did Al's, who I played it with, and we decided to replay it, you know, for the sake of nostalgia, and it was a lot of fun in many ways, and I'm glad we did. It was honestly so much fun sometimes that I'm surprised we didn't do it anytime sooner. I'm kind of stumbling over my words because this isn't a script or anything. I'm just kind of going with the flow again like last year, because I feel like it's better that way. It's more me than doing a script. I don't really like doing scripts, but yeah. Lego Batman 2, there's not even words I can give this game that would explain how much I love it. I am able to replay this game over and over again and 100% because I just enjoy it a lot. There's nothing that I find that I dislike about it particularly. Arguably even better music, Hotline Miami 2 is definitely the better game in many ways because, let's face it, this is the one that really caught people's attention in the first place. Hotline Miami 2, I'll give it this, might just be one of the greatest games I've played this year. It is really, really good, and I've heard it also has custom campaigns and maps and all that you can do. I haven't gotten into that. I don't know if I will get into that, but, you know, I know they are there, and there's an option if you wanna, you know, which is always nice when a game has, you know, mods and modability, especially custom map making. Hotline Miami 2 does a lot of things better, including OST as well, which is one of the main points that the first game captured me with, but the gameplay itself, the gunplay, is a lot more evolved, and I enjoyed it a lot more because it gave me a lot more options. And it was way more varied, especially since the boss fights in 1 were not that great, but 2 was alright. Now on to a really weird title. CNC Renegade, Command & Conquer Renegade, is a game that I played because people told me, hey, it takes place between the first games and the second games, and I'm like, okay, I guess I might play it since I'm playing in chronological order. I played it, and it was very odd. First of all, I had to install a bunch of things so it wouldn't be as dated as it actually usually is, because it is very old. Those kind of worked, they kind of were broken at the same time. I didn't really get the full experience because a lot of stuff was broken. But in general, I feel like it's trying to be a shooter, not a Doom shooter, but like a kind of a bit tactical shooter with very non-tactical elements. That also is in the CNC universe where nothing's really explained that well, and the characters are not that memorable. I mean, at least for me. I can't speak for others, but for me, the characters did not leave an impact other than maybe the lady that was there most of the game. I don't remember her name. I'm not really good with names and remembering them, but I know there was a lady that was like also an agent, assassin, something, and I think she's the most recognizable character out of that game, and I guess the main character, but he's not really much of a interesting character. He's just like, I'm here, I shoot things, I like to do gunplay. Now, Brad Has a Pain is a fucking headache of a fan game of Lisa. Would I say it's the best fan game I've played? Maybe. Because it does so much with so little. It's essentially you're just playing Lisa again, but it's a gigantic shitpost, and also it's a really good shitpost somehow. Like, look, if I were to replay Brad Has a Pain, I would have probably a ton of fun. If I were to replay other Lisa games, I don't think I'd have as much fun. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain appeal that games have when you play them for the first time, but Brad Has a Pain has so many options, and it's so stupid that you can just replay it a couple of times and still have a lot of fun. And the way I'm stumbling with my words sounds like I'm having a lobotomy, which is definitely what I got after playing this game. Now, Entropy Zero is a series that was recommended to me by Als, and I really looked forward to playing it. I said I'll get around to it one day, and I did, and Entropy Zero was actually pretty good. The first game was decent. I wouldn't put it at great, I wouldn't put it at okay, it's somewhere like just good. It's good. Like, I don't really have complaints about it. I know others do. I know the puzzles for other people seemed unintuitive, and I didn't really have that issue. They were very okay with me, so, you know, story-wise, it's alright. Definitely the following games did better. DMC3 is truly where the series started to peak, because, simply put, they introduced Virgil as a character. And even if you're not a DMC fan, you've probably seen or heard about Virgil. He's not the main character, but he is rather the main character's brother. And for some reason, they made him so goddamn iconic that I can't get him out of my head. Really, the reason I continue to play DMC is because well, Dante's cool, but he gets less cool. But Virgil's also insanely badass, and also his motives are really lame, but it doesn't matter because he is badass. And his abilities are goddamn cool. The one thing I appreciate about the MC3 is that most of the combat is absolutely skill-based, and it feels fair. Compared to the other DMC games, the MC3 feels fair, and it rewards you for knowing the enemy you're fighting and its moveset. Now, Portal 2 was a game that I mostly wanted to play kind of randomly with Al's, and I decided on it because, well, you know, he hadn't played Portal co-op, and I wanted to replay it. It had been a while, so I would have forgotten the puzzles, which is true. I did forget the puzzles, most of them. And hey, overall, we had a bunch of fun. It was short, but enjoyable. There's not much to say about Portal. It is a masterpiece of a game. Valve really outdid themselves on making it, and I don't feel like I have to speak on it too much. You already know how much of a great game it is. Overall, though, I did enjoy it. Replaying it, I think it was my third time replaying it. And I know Al's enjoyed it too, so, you know, overall, fun experience. Entropy Zero Uprising is a fan mod of Entropy Zero, where you play the events before Entropy Zero, essentially. That's a lot of Entropy Zeros, but bear with me, because this one, Entropy Zero Uprising, actually felt a bit better than the original Entropy Zero, and I feel like its plot as well was better with more memorable characters too, which is surprising because, you know, usually a fan game doesn't outdo its original, but I feel like in this case, Uprising really did. I feel like Uprising had a slow start. That was my only issue with it. Rocky start feels like Baby's first mod, but then it quickly picks up into some very interesting areas with some very thought out characters and some nice plot. I'm pretty sure it also has secrets and multiple endings, but I didn't get into that because I never knew about them. I'll just say it here, this game is a headache. Would I recommend it to a normal person? Absolutely not. Would I recommend it to someone who is autistic? Absolutely. Yeah, this game is fucking amazing and also sucks ass. How can it be both at the same time? I don't know. You ask the person who made Cruelty Squad. Finnish people are goddamn weird, but I enjoy their games nonetheless. God motherfucking damn. Cruelty Squad was one hell of an experience. I don't really want to talk on about live stream series that I do, because it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't really represent what I do, because I don't live stream that much. But Cruelty Squad was a experience that I cannot forget. I will never forget in my life. And also, it is so trippy and so weird that I don't think I would be capable of finding a way to describe this game to you. It is so unbelievably weird that I fail to explain what makes this game so unique. There's plenty of videos that explain it, and they do a good job, and they try and explain the lore and how the game works too, but truth be told, this is a game that's best experienced by yourself, blindly. Because it is a headache, and also lovely, and also not for anyone sane or normal. DMC4 I really liked, and then I kinda grew to hate it. Why is that? Because in the beginning, DMC4 did something pretty interesting where you would play two characters. And hey, that was really cool. They introduced a new character, Nero. I get to play a new protagonist, you know, and I get some new abilities, and I get to play some new combat and all that, and that's really enjoyable. Bosses feel fun and all that, but towards the end of the game, they said, hey, but what if we repeat the bosses? But you're playing as a different character, so it's fine, because you'll get a different experience. I'm like, I kind of see it. You could have made some new bosses, but sure, I'll play along with it. And then the mission before the last mission, they say, hey, but wouldn't it be fun if you had a boss rush right before the final boss? And I said, no, it wouldn't be fun. I don't know why you think it would be fun to have a boss rush when I've already fought the bosses twice. This is the third time I'm fighting each boss that exists in the game, except for the final boss. And they're like, yeah, well, it happens, you know? I'm like, okay, I don't really like where this is going. And I played it, and I finished it, and story-wise, it's okay, I like it. It's more interesting than 1 and 2, maybe not more than 3. Actually, 1 has a pretty interesting story, too. but 2 is definitely the worst out of all of them. DMC4 I would not replay for the fact that I just have to replay the bosses so many times. I don't enjoy the bosses that much where I'd want to fight them 3 times in one playthrough. Lisa the Wise. First of all, before I get into Lisa the Wise, I want to say that the reason I play this fan game is because I know a person who works on it, and I thank him for recommending to play his projects because this is a really good fan game. I really enjoyed the combat in this. And I'm not saying this just because, you know, he's my friend, he'll watch this. No, I actually mean it. The combat is really interesting because it connects between the characters you play. You have to make combos, and if one goes down, you're definitely gonna feel like one has gone down and you're missing something. You're missing a key piece of your combo there that you're trying to do. So you're really gonna try and keep your party members alive, which feels thematically really nice because you're always gonna try and do that, right? But when you lose that much, when a character dies, it really does affect it in a different way. And I really like the story where it takes the approach of, oh, there's woman still alive in Lisa universe, right? But it takes a different approach to that there's still woman. And it doesn't just do the, oh, let's try and find her and protect her and all that. And it's like, no, let's go along with her and try and find someone who will protect us, knowing that, you know, we could protect the future of humanity. That is a really nice approach. Entropy 02 is incredible. It is beyond anything that I expected of it. It is beyond anything that I would have expected of a Half-Life game. I think it by far surpasses Half-Life itself. Maybe not as a series, but the Half-Life games it surpasses in many ways. And I think it does a really, really good job tying everything that it has together into something that would make sense both in the Half-Life universe and to its own fan game series. And I think it does this really, really well with some great aesthetic and some great storytelling and characters. That too. Wilson is unforgettable. Wilson was a bit of a nuisance at the start, but I grew to love him, and he was very enjoyable to carry around, the little robot. I would replay Entropy 02 any day because it is amazing. It is so well done. Dying Light, a game I have played before, that I played with Als, and overall, I gotta say, it felt nice replaying it. I like zombie games, and I think Dying Light is one of the best ones that there are. It does what it wants to do really well. The only downside to it, I think, is that once you get guns and you have easy access to guns, it becomes just, you know, a bit too dull. If guns were rarer and ammo was scarcer, I think it would be a lot more fun, but either way, bosses and characters are memorable. I will never forget the fights that they had, the interactions, and the character progression they had, because they are really nice. Except for those people in the tower of the... not the tower, but the second zone, the open world, the second open world that you can access, that help you along. Those aren't as memorable. I don't know. I don't remember them. I'm gonna be honest with you. Marduk. Love-hate with this game. I really like it. I like how it's a bit self-aware, but I also hate how if you want to do everything that's in the game, it really hits you with the this is a JRPG. And it's not really just this is a JRPG, it's the this is a JRPG and we know this is a JRPG and we know you know this is a parody of one, so we're gonna make it really difficult to do anything. And you just sit there and watch and you're like, I really want to do this boss, I really want to play this thing, I really want to do this, but for some reason I'm 30 levels below what I should be, I'm missing about 20 pieces of equipment. Why? Because technically I had to do a bunch of side quests and I find a lot of hidden things. That's just kind of how JRPGs are, but honestly, I went back, I tried to do everything, I tried to collect everything I had, I tried to do those bosses, even if they were incredibly difficult, and in the end, I realized that it's all for nothing. It really all is... It's all pointless. It's not worth doing all that. I did as much as I had fun doing, and then I ended the game. And overall, Chapter 1 was fun, Chapter 2 was fun, Chapter 3 was fun. They were all fun overall, but there's too much hidden stuff. and there's too much hidden content with bosses and all that, and even the final boss of Chapter 3 was honestly kind of difficult. More difficult than I think it should be. Either way, it was a gifted game from 16, I think. And well, not I think, but I know for a fact it's from 16. I said the think because I don't remember if he said to actually mention him as 16 or XVI. Either way, he has a Twitter account where he makes art, maybe sometimes questionable, maybe sometimes hot. I recommend you check it out. I don't know if I'm gonna remember to leave a link, but hey, he's on my Discord, you can go talk to him. CNC Tiberian Sun is, well, I'm conflicted on it. I really like it, and I'm really enjoying it, but I also had to put it on break because it has been causing my computer issues, and I haven't been able to play it because it's crashing, and it's crashing not only the game, but my computer as well, and that is really unhealthy. And until I can fix that and fix the controls, which have been messed up for some reason now when I fixed the other thing, and then it got bad again, and I don't know how to explain it. It's a lot of technical issues that I'm having more late into the game for some reason. I don't know why, but I've put it on hold until I can fix it. And once I figure it out and I have a free slot in my playthrough series, I'll get back to it because I do really enjoy Command & Conquer. The MC5 is great. Not just great, it is fucking amazing. The OST to this game is impeccable. I mean, just listen to it. Just listen to it right now, you know? It's so goddamn good. And it gets you pumped up, and it gets you introduces some characters that you really like, and some characters that you really hate, and then it peaks when you think you've beaten the final boss. It says, no. So here's Virgil. Because they know what people want, and they bring back Virgil. And I'm so happy when I see him. God motherfucking damn, the ending was questionable. That's the only downside to it. The ending was very, so we're doing this by the power of, my willpower is gonna complete this. I don't know, it's kind of weird. If you know the ending, then you know the ending. If not, I'm not gonna spoil it. You can go watch it. It's on my series. It's on my channel, I mean. Lisa the Timeless is by far the best looking, sounding, and feeling Lisa fan game. I love everything about it. Brad Has a Pain is an interesting one where I think I'd be able to replay it, but Lisa the Timeless is by far the best. When it comes to quality, Lisa the Timeless is the best, and I love it for that. The characters are memorable, they have a nice, unique atmosphere, and sometimes you forget you're in the Lisa world, but then you're reminded. Sometimes some things remind you, because it's a bit detached, but in a good way where it kind of expands on what it should have been. The Lisa world as a whole is a bit barren, but I feel like Lisa the Timeless does a really good job of exploring that, empty feeling by also adding things that would logically be there. And honestly, I don't know how someone makes a game as great as Lisa the Timeless, considering that it's a fan game of a game. It's a lot of work put into it for free, and I really, really appreciate the developers for working on it and making it possible and everything. Because goddamn, that experience is memorable. Now, Human Fall Flat is a game that Al's mostly wanted to play. I'm not really that much into games with difficult controls, but he is. And I played it, and overall, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of enjoyed it. There's definitely some parts where it felt tedious to do things. It felt difficult to control, and like I just wanted to, have regular controls for a few minutes. But at the same time, those tedious controls allowed me to, glitch myself out and kind of skip some of the stages early on, which I really liked, and I tried doing as much of that as I could. It's a really goofy way of playing the game, but yeah, overall enjoyable. I know we said we'd play the DLCs or the expansions or whatever, the other maps, but we didn't end up doing that. We just stuck to the main game, and it was nice. Now look at this, Fallout New Vegas. One of my friends recommended I played this, and I'm glad he did. He kind of insisted a bit too much, but overall, I'm glad he did suggest I play Fallout New Vegas, because it is a very great game. sadly stuck to a very shitty engine. It could have been a lot better, I can tell you that already, but even with what it is, it's very great, and I like it a lot. I like the way it feels to play. It's very interesting and something unique that I haven't played and I haven't seen from other Bethesda games, even though that's technically what it's supposed to be. But other Bethesda games just kind of fail at what it managed to do, and I don't really know how to explain its magic. It just kind of is there. Terraria Calamity mod is something I wanted to play, and I asked Mir, and I was like, hey, do you want to play this? And then he was like, yeah, sure, okay. We had a lot of fun playing it. He didn't really like mods initially, but after I showed him what it's like and I gave him, you know, showed him around essentially, he came around and we enjoyed it a lot. There are definitely some times when it was buggy and we didn't really like that, but hey, the music is good, or at least I would say that. Mir wouldn't say that. We had this argument on the series quite a bit. By the way, long series, still haven't finished it. We're getting into the series that I haven't finished, which I don't want to talk about too much, but these ones are pre-recorded, so I already know the ending of them. And now finally, this is the last series I'm going to talk about, Salt and Sanctuary. There's one that I just started that's technically also pre-recorded, but I'm going to leave it for next year. Salt and Sanctuary is really, really fun. Mir suggested I play this, and I played it with him. It is a game that I didn't expect to like as much as I did. I really like the ending, I really like the combat, I really like the diversity and the how much you can explore, how much there is to adventure in it. I thought it was 2D Dark Souls, and in some ways it is, but I won't call it that because it has a lot of its own unique charm, and I love that about it. I might play Salt and Sacrifice sometime, but I haven't bought it yet, and I've heard from Mir that it's pretty good. I might play it. Either way, I really, really like Salt and Sanctuary, and now that we've reached the end here, I'd like to say thank you. Honestly, thank you. I am nearing 1,000 subs, and it means a lot to me because I really am doing this as a hobby more than anything, and any change I make to the channel, I do as a hobby and to adapt to my life. You see, most of the year I've been uploading 3 videos a day. Recently, towards the end, I've changed to 1 video a day because I've started, you know, a school year that matters a lot for me, and I've been a lot more busy and a lot more active, and I haven't had as much time. Even this video is essentially a bit rushed and also unfinished, but I tried my best, and I'm hoping it comes out well. At this point, I don't know yet because I'm just recording the voiceover. I really do thank you, because you supported me all the way throughout, even though my videos were never meant to be anything more than just a way for me to experience games. I don't know if I talked about this before on one of the important videos like this, but I started my channel because I wanted to finish video games. I had this issue where I wouldn't finish video games because I'd get to a zone I don't like, I'd close it, I'd say I'd play it tomorrow, and then I wouldn't play it tomorrow, and I'd keep avoiding it because I knew I was in a zone I didn't like. And making videos every single day was a challenge, and it was basically a way of saying, hey, you have to get through this zone, you have to get through this and continue, you know? And once I started making the videos, I was like, hey, I got past that zone I didn't like, and now it's actually a lot more enjoyable than when I started, because now I know the game, and now it's more enjoyable, and I got past the part I disliked. And I'm really grateful that me just doing that has led into this, and having a kind of like a mini community here, and a lot of people that can, you know, just chill out, enjoy themselves, and watch my videos, which is a weird thing to say, you know, but thank you for your support, and I hope you've enjoyed my videos throughout this year as well. And with that, I'm gonna leave it here. So if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, have an awesome rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow.